शिवांशु, ऑल द बेस्ट। शिवांशु,
मनीष जी, आपकी सोसाइटी तो बहुत मेरे को एक्टिव और वाइब्रेंट लग रही है।
थैंक यू मैम। दीज और ये जितने यंग स्टूडेंट्स हैं, बस अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स मिलते हैं तो अपने आप वाइब्रेंट हो जाता है मैम। इट्स ऑल अबाउट स्टूडेंट्स।
But good
अब
students need a good mentor also, and which
मे
I
बी,
find in
हाँ,
you.
इट्स ए मैम, इट्स ए लाइक वाइस वर्सा मैम।
Yes.
Because this time we are having so many good and active students, uh, academically as well as in the other fields also. तो अच्छा लगता है। और आप भी मैक्सिमम बच्चों को जानते ही हैं, कॉलेज के एसेट हैं ये।
Yes, of course they are.
हाँ, शिवांशु, kindly fix your mic etc. So when it'll start, एक बार आप बोल के देख लीजिए। मतलब बोलना नहीं, मतलब कुछ भी बोल के, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून। हाँ, शिवांशु, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। कोई बात नहीं, आप अपने को फिक्स कीजिए। मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको? एनीबॉडी? शुभम?
हेलो।
हाँ शिवांशु।
यस सर, यस सर।
हाँ हाँ, तो एक बार शिवांशु को आप लोग बोलिए कि हल्का सा अपने को वार्म अप कर ले।
हेलो।
हाँ यस शिवांशु।
एम आई ऑडिबल सर?
हाँ 100%। कैन यू ओपन योर वीडियो?
यस सर, श्योर सर।
ओके। लुकिंग स्मार्ट। ग्रेट।
थैंक यू सर।
एंड एक बार मैम को गुड इवनिंग बोलिए, इलाबुसन
इवनिंग
मैम।
मैम। गुड इवनिंग
Good
मैम।
evening, Shivanshu. Best wishes for you.
थैंक यू मैम।
And your topic is really very fantastic, very informative. So go ahead with your topic with full
Yes.
zeal and activeness. Okay.
यस सर, श्योर सर।
Yes. And kindly, one of the student kindly contact DN sir, and DN sir and Pramod sir, and tell them to join. Anyone? And kindly call others also. DN sir, good evening. कहाँ रह गए थे सर? DN sir. Unmute कीजिए। Good evening खुशबू, good evening. And keep coming, and kindly Khushbu, kindly like tell others to join, because we are having only 2 minutes time to start, so kindly say others to join. DN sir, kindly unmute yourself. Unmute कीजिए। Unmute.
Good evening, DN sir.
अरे unmute कीजिए सर।
मैडम जी को नमस्कार।
नमस्कार DN sir. नमस्कार।
बहुत बढ़िया।
इला मैम, ये एकेडमिक प्रोग्राम में बच्चे थोड़े से कम रहते हैं, लेकिन हम बॉदर नहीं करते हैं वेदर इट्स 20-30 विल प्रोसीड, क्योंकि जबरदस्ती एकेडमिक प्रोग्राम में बुलाने का कोई मतलब नहीं होता है। इसलिए हमने इस सिस्टम को कूल किया हुआ है कि जिसको आना है, दोज हु आर इंटरेस्टेड दे डेफिनेटली ज्वाइन।
Manish ji, I still remember that it was in 2014 we had a conference on CSR.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and Manchanda sir was there.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
he said, "Thank God we are out of Mela culture."
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, what we need is sincere and serious students.
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? तो मेला कल्चर से तो पर्पस सर्व नहीं होता हमारा।
हाँ, ऑब्वियसली। और जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स रहे वो परफेक्ट रहे और वो सुनने के लिए आए, दैट्स ऑल।
एग्जैक्टली,
ये है। और बच्चे आ जाते हैं धीरे धीरे। एक तो संडे है।
5 p.m. we should start. Sir, we should start at 5.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Manvi Saraswat from first year. Welcome you all in today's webinar hosted by History Department Sakshay and IQAC Internal Quality Assurance Cell. This is a talk series called as Graduate Scholar Talk Series, which happens every Sunday between 5 to 6 p.m. and now is the 5th week of the series. This series is started to present your scholarly views on variety of topics and to enhance your speaking skills. The series is coordinated by Ms. Manvi Saraswat, Mr. Mudit Bhardwaj, Mr. Saurabh Singh, and Ms. Subal Nazameen. Now, what would be a better way to start the program by remembering Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, music, and wisdom? So I request to please play the Saraswati Vandana. Now, I welcome our respected guest of today, Dr. Ila Bhushan ma'am, who has 15 plus years of teaching experience. She has done research on 10 plus national and international papers. Ma'am, I request you to please enlighten us with your valuable words.
मानवी, there is a glitch. मुझे exit करके दोबारा connect करना पड़ेगा because I'm not visible to you people. Just give me 2 minutes for that. Just give me 2 minutes for that.
Okay, ma'am.
Manvi, if you are having some rule and regulations, so okay, it's good. Yeah. Ilamam has joined.
I think I am visible now, है ना? I
Yeah,
can see it on my screen as well.
yes, ma'am.
So, a warm good afternoon to everybody present here, and how elated I am to be here in this unique series. Graduate Scholars Talk series is unique in many ways. It is an initiative of Dr. Manish Kambar and his colleagues who have always had a student-centric approach. And this is what I loved most about it. It provides a platform to our dear students to come with their ideas and to share them in a coherent way. I think it's something just like TED Talks that we have been hearing. Our students write well, but when it comes to public speaking, they just shirk. So I see this series, as a platform as an opportunity for all of you to share your thoughts, to present your thoughts to your teachers, to your fellows in a very coherent way. And as Manvi has just shared that this is 5th in the series, and I have seen that each of them has been unique, each of them has a unique topic. So this today's talk is on human evolution, about theory, about debates by Shivanshu. And Shivanshu comes from a science background, so I thought that I think that this topic comes naturally to him. We are so ignorant about our own evolution, about the journey we have traveled, about the way we have the ways we have adopted. So Himanshu comes here with a purpose to unravel the unexplored before us. The process by which modern organism has descended from their ancestors with changes is called evolution. Nuances will be delivered by Shivanshu. So I just wanted to, have some preliminary thoughts with you. When we come to human evolution, all that we know is Origin of a Species by Charles Darwin, or the famous saying, survival of the fittest. But there is much more to it, which Shivanshu will be sharing with us. So I wish best of luck to Shivanshu, and he's also an aspiring civil servant, and wish to experiment with politics also. So best wishes for him. And my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Manish and his Saksha team for providing this platform, this very important platform in modern times, in COVID pandemic times, to our dear students. And I've been noticing, like Siri, talk after talk you have been organizing, and very important talks have been there. So, and I talked to him in the morning, and he has planned more such talks for our students. So come, share, and evolve yourself. My best wishes to everybody present here. Over to Manvi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, without further ado, let's start the program. And you all can post your questions in the chat box. So I invite Shivanshu Saini to present his opinions on the topic Human Evolution, Progress, Debates.
Thank you, Ms. Manvi. This is Shivanshu, and I am from Saharanpur. Before starting my topic, I want to give you a brief introduction about my topic. As you know that Donald Johnson once said, I think that many of my ideas are correct, but I will bet you, before my death, other discoveries will be made that will attempt me to alter various ideas I have about human evolution. And once again, I am Shivanshu Saini, will present my views on this topic. Now, I want to emphasize my thoughts on the human evolution. Charles Darwin wrote about the theory of evolution by the natural selection, that light will be thrown on the origin of man and his history. For the general theory of evolution, these originally included paleontology, geology, botany, physiology, anatomy, and famously selective breedings. Human evolution refers to a natural process involved in the evolutionary history of all members of the human clade, consisting of the Homo sapiens and the other members of the human tribe. After the split from the chimpanzees. Members of the human clades are referred as the hominids. Now, I want to discuss about the historical background of the human evolution. 19th century discovery of early human archaeological and fossil remains lead to a systematic investigation of the human origins using a scientific explanatory framework. The gradual acceptance of the deep time that eventually included humans gave the rise to the scholarly division of the human history and as well as prehistory. Deep history was connected to the deep evolutionary ancestry with the introduction of the scientific theory of the descent with modification. From the second half of the 19th century, theories of the human evolution were largely driven by the discoveries, archaeological evidences, which included any object that have been made by the hominids played an important part in generating evidences and establishing theories about the behavior of early humans. With the limited fossil records, many questions in human evolution remained speculative. It was thus more than the theoretical preferences and indeed the order of which fossils were discovered at a different location that determined the favored geographical locales of the human origin. And now, I want to say you something about the origin and the evolution of life. First one is origin of life. The origin of life is considered a unique event in the history of a universe. Two important aspects of life are its origin and evolution. And the branch of life science which deals with these two aspects is called the evolutionary biology. The first one is origin of universe. The universe is about 20 billion years old. It comprises a huge cluster of galaxies which contains stars and clouds of the gases and as well as dust. According to Big Bang theory, our universe arose as a catalytic eruption, the temperature lowered, and the gases like H2 and He, these are the hydrogen and helium, were formed sometime later by the gravitational force. The gases condensed and the galaxies were formed. Second is origin of Earth. Earth was supposed to have been formed about the 4.5 billion years back in the solar system of a Milky Way galaxy. Its surface was covered with the water vapors, methane, CO2, and ammonia released from the molten mass. Water was broken into H2 and O2. These are the hydrogen and oxygen by the UV ray of a sun. The ozone O3 layer was formed as it cooled. The water vapors fell as a rain and filled all depressions form of the oceans and the other water bodies. Now I want to discuss about the origin of life. First theory for this, theory of special creation. It states that God created life by the divine of act of a creation. That is, the earth, light, plants, and animals are all being created by the supernatural power or the spiritual power. Second theory for this, theory of panspermia. It was given by the early Greek thinkers, which states that the life on the earth is infected from the spores, which came from the outer space and developed into the living forms. Third theory for this, theory of spontaneous generation. It states that life originated from the non-living matter automatically. This is called the theory of abiogenesis and autobiogenesis. It was supported by the Van Helmont, but rejected by the Louis Pasteur. In Louis Pasteur experiment, he kept the killed yeast cell in the pre-sterilized flask and in another flask. The life did not evolve in the former, but the new living organism evolved in the later flask. And the fourth theory for this, theory of chemical evolution. This theory was given by the Oprin and Haldane. According to them, the first form of life came from the pre-existing non-living organism molecule. Example is RNA, DNA, protein, and etc. And the chemical evolution was followed by the formation of life. The conditions on Earth favoring chemical evolution were high temperature, volcanic storms, and the reducing atmosphere containing CH4 and NH3. These are the methanes and ammonia. Now, I want to give you the brief description of the experimental evidences of the chemical evolution. Stanley Miller and the Urey performed the experiment in 1953. They demonstrated clearly that the UV radiation or the electrical discharges or a combination of these can be produce a complex organic compounds form a mixture of CH4, NH3, H2O and S2. These are the methane, ammonia, water and hydrogen. Electrical discharges was created in a closed flask containing CH4, NH3, H2 in the ratio of 2:1:2 and the water vapors at a 800 degrees centigrade. He observed formation of amino acids while other observed the presence of the complex molecule like sugar, pigments, nitrogen bases and the fats into the flask. And then they give their conclusion. In conclusion, they also proved that the first non-cellular cellular form of a life was created about the 3 million years ago. And the non-cellular biomolecules exist from of RNA, DNA, protein, and as well as the polysaccharides. Now, what are the evidences for the evolution? Evidences that of a evolution of a life forms took place. Earth comes from the paleontology, comparative anatomy, and morphology, biochemical evidences, and the biogeographical evidences, etc. First one is paleontological evidences. Paleontological is the study of fossils. Sediments of the different age rock contain fossils of a different life forms that lived and died during the formation of particular segment. Some of them appear similar to the modern organism. They represent extinct organisms. Example, dinosaurs. A study of a fossils in a different sedimentary layers indicate the geological period. New form of a life have been evolved at a different times in the history of India. All this is called the paleontological evidences. And the second is comparative anatomy and the morphological evidences for the human evolution. These evidences come from the comparative study of the external and the internal structure of the organism. These evidences come from the comparative study of external and internal. These can be determined by the following types. First one is homology and second is analogy. In homology, it is the relation among the organs of a different group of organisms that show similarity in the basic structure and the embryonic development, but have a different function. Homology is the organ indicated common ancestry. It is based on the divergent evolution. When, due to the different needs, some structures develop differently, the condition is called the divergent evolution. Now I want to give you the examples of the homology for limbs of the animals like whales, bats, and cheetahs. And second is vertebrates, herds, and brain. As you know, second I say analogy. That is the opposite of homology. In analogy, the organs are functionally similar but anatomically different. Convergent evolution is the evolution where different structures evolved for a same function and have a similarity. This results the analogous organs. Examples for this, wings of the butterfly and birds. And second example for this, eyes of the octopus and mammals. Now I want to give you the brief description of the biogeographical evidences for the human evolution. It suggests that the species restricted to the region develop unique features. First theory for this, adaptive radiation. The process of evolution of a different species, starting from a point in a geographical area and finally radiating to other areas of a geographical is called the adaptive radiation. Some examples of the adaptive radiation. First one is Darwin finches. This theory is given by the Darwin. The varieties of the finches was observed in the same Iceland. He found that all of them had evolved from the original seed-eating finches. He explained that after originating form of a common ancestral seed-eating stock, the finches must have radiated to different geographical areas. Second is marsupials of the Australia. In this, marsupials of Australia, these are the another example of the adaptive radiation. A variety of marsupials, each different from the each other, evolved from the ancestral stock, but all with the Australian Iceland continuum. And the third example for this, adaptive convergence. When more than one adaptive radiation appeared to have occurred in an isolated geographical area, and the two or more groups of unrelated animals comes to resemble each other for a similar mode of a life or a habit. It is called the adaptive convergence. And now, what are the biological evolution for the human evolution? These are the biological evolution which are given for the humans evolution. There are the four theories comes to put forward the explanation of the modification or the mode of the evolution. First is Lemar theory of evolution. Lemar proposed that the evolution of a life forms had occurred to use the and tissue of organs. He gave an example of giraffes, which initially did not have a long necks, but in order to reach the leaves on a tall trees, they adapted by the elongation of their necks by passing this acquired character to succeeding generations. Over the year, they came to acquire long necks. This theory is called the Lamarckian theory of evolution. Second theory for this, Darwin theory of natural selection. This is also called the fittest theory of evolution. According to the Darwin, refers to ultimately to the reproductive fitness. Such fit individuals leaves more fit individuals than others. Thus, those organisms which are better fit and adapt well will survive more in the nature and will be selected by the nature. This is called the natural selection. Based on the observation, he concluded that followings. First is, there has been a gradual evolution of a life forms with a new form arising at a different period of history. And the second is, varying degrees of the similarities can be observed between the existing life forms and those existing million years ago. And the third is, population of the all organisms have variation in the characteristics which made them adapt to better environment. And the fourth theory for this, mutation theory of evolution. Mechanism of evolution. Hugo de Vries carried one experiment on an evening primrose plant and proposed the mutation theory of evolution occurs by the sudden large differences in the population. He states that the mutation caused by speciation and also called the saltation. This is the single step large mutation. Mutations are random and without directional. While in the case of Darwin's, variation are small and directional. Now, I want to say you something about the Hardy-Weinberg principle. This principle states that the allele frequencies in the population are stable and remain constant from the generation to generation. That is gene pool. This is called the genetic equilibrium or a Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. What are the factors affecting the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium? First is gene migration or a gene flow. Second is genetic drift. Third is mutation. Fourth is genetic recombination. And the last one is natural selection. In the case of natural selection, there are the three processes occurs in the natural selection. First is stabilization. In the case of stabilization, large number of individuals acquire mean character value, that is the variation is much reduced. Second is directional change. Large number of individuals acquire value other than the character value. And the third is disruption. Large number of individuals acquire peripheral character value at both ends of the disruption curve. Now, I want to give you the example of the natural selection, industrial melanism. The evolution of prepared moth and an evolutionary instant of the directional color change in the moth population as a consequences of the air pollution due to the industrial revolution. The frequency of the dark colored moths increased at that time. An example of industrial melanism. Later, when population were reduced, the light colored form against the predominated. Industrial melanism is prepared moth was an early test of the Charles Darwin on a natural selection in the action and remains the classic example of teaching of evolution. Now, what is the origin of evolution of man? The fossil evidences of clearly indicated that origin of man occurred in the Central Asia, China, Java, and India as well as. First is the common ancestor of apes or a man is a primate Dryopithecus. Second is the next stage was Ramapithecus, in which humanoid evolution. Third is both were hairy and walked like the gorillas and chimpanzees. And the fourth is Ramapithecus was more like man and was forerunner of a humanoid evolution, but Dryopithecus was a ape-like. Now, I want to emphasize my views on the dating challenges of the human evolution. There are the four primary dating technologies for the evolution. First one is radiogenic isotopes, second is paleomagnetism, third is thermoluminescence, and the last one is electron spin resonance. Rutherford and Boltwood indicated that the predictable decay of the radioactive element could be used to keep a track of time. Not only did it confirm the Earth to be billion years old, it provided the earliest empirical time scale for a fossil record. Common chemical elements used in a dating include argon, carbon, 14, and uranium. Which elements research used to depends on how quickly they decay. For example, C14 dating is extensively used to date organic finds 60 era, and younger as it has a relatively short half-life. The half-life of the C14 is 5,730 years. It has allowed us to accurately document the origin of the agriculture around the 20 kya ago. By dating of the remains of the animals and the plants, argon is the contrast of a longer half-life and extensively used for the dating finds older than 10 kya. Now, second is paleomagnetism. It uses the direction of the magnetic particle in a layer of a sediment and compares these are known as the shifts in the compares of Earth magnetic field over time. These shifts can be full revolved when the north magnetic pole suddenly becomes the south magnetic pole or smaller changes in the direction of the magnetic field strength. This is paleomagnetism is powerful alternative. Thermoluminescence and electron spin, this is ESR, measures the amount of the electrons that get trapped inside a rock or a fossil over a time. ESR also measures electron trapped in a lattice, but unlike thermoluminescence. Now I want to give the brief introduction about the genetic revolution. Since the 1960, the field of the evolutionary genetics has arguably made the greatest impact upon the human evolutionary studies. Advances in the technologies such as the development of the PCR, this is the polymerase chain reaction, have been instrumental allowing, for example, the analysis of the ancient DNA taken from the fossils. Genetics too came from a clock which compares the amount of the genetics differences mutations between the living organisms. Since mutation have been a predictable rates of a change over a time, they can be used to estimate how long years ago living species shared common ancestors. The molecular clock cannot be assigned concentrate dates and must be collaborated against the independent evidences such as the fossil records. Genetics has been also confirmed that living humans have been limited genetic diversity, indicating a series of a population bottlenecks and a limited ancestral gene pool. Studies of the genetic variation reveal that the greatest diversity can be found in the African population. This combined with the evidences from the female mitochondrial DNA and the male Y chromosome. Specific historians confirm an African origin for our species and suggest our ancestor migrated out of India. And now, what are the current debates on this topic? The contemporary science of the human evolution is the interdisciplinary, that is anatomy, anthropology, archaeology, botany, climatic science, ecology, genetics, including ancient DNA studies, and the history, and as well as the paleontology, and related to the subdisciplines, psychology, physiology, primatology, and a number of different disciplines specializing in dating. One of the main challenges, therefore, is the collaborate data and result from the different fields will man aging and the difference in the perspectives of the theoretical tradition. Now, I concluded my topic. There is no scientific accepted research that shows that the human have stopped evolving. Evolution is creatively still occurring and will be continue to occur in humans. Humans exhibit differences in the reproductive success will directly leads to the evolution. Humans still face challenges to survival as well as exhibit the variation in the heritable traits. All characteristics of evolution. Many of the humanity's most estimated innovations have been happened in the past decades or a century, mere a few generations at most. However, no innovation will be changed the fact that human exhibit varying a reproductive success and the challenges to survival and the components of evolution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shivanshu. It was a very informative talk. And it takes a lot being a fresher and coming out and presenting your views in front of a teacher and all the other seniors. And you did it very rightly. Your topic was very relatable. And as Ela ma'am also pointed out, that human evolution, is a field that everyone must, know something about. And I'm sure that your talk would have given a lot of information to our listeners. And it might also arouse some further curiosities in the minds of our listeners. So with this, let's move to some of the questions that were pointed out. So Divya wants to know that what are the postulates of the theory of spatial creation?
As I said that special creation हमारे ग्रीक साइंटिस्ट रहे, जैसा कि मैंने पहले बताया कि उन्होंने कहा था कि स्पेशल क्रिएशन क्या है कि एक सुपरनेचुरल पावर है कि उसने हम सभी को बनाया है, जो हमारी धरती पे उसमें प्लांट्स हो गए, एनिमल्स हो गए, ह्यूमन बीइंग जो भी धरती पे ऑक्सीजन लेता है या फिर ब्रीथिंग प्रोसेस करता है, वही क्या कहलाएगा। स्पेशल क्रिएशन की थ्योरी का यही पोस्टुलेट था कि जो भी ऑर्गेनिज्म हमारा ब्रीथिंग प्रोसेस करता है या फिर वह सर्वाइव करता है इस धरती पे, वही कहलाता है स्पेशल क्रिएशन। स्पेशल क्रिएशन का सिर्फ इतना ही मतलब था और कोई पोस्टुलेट नहीं था।
Okay, Shivanshu. Then we have a question from Khushbu. She wants to know the meaning of panspermia.
पेनिस्पर्मिया, दैट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन फॉर दिस। पेनिस्पर्मिया का मीन्स होता है, सपोज करो जैसे आपने सुना होगा कोई छोटी चीज रिलेटिंग टू एज अ स्मॉल थिंग, वी कैन से जैसे कि मैंने अभी आपको बताया कि पेनिस्पर्मिया मीन्स स्पोर्स। हमारी जो लाइफ थी वो स्पोर्स से आई, जैसा कि ग्रीक थिंकर्स का कहना था, जो हमारे साइंटिस्ट थे उनका कहना था कि जो हमारी लाइफ थी वो स्पोर्स से आई, स्पोर्स से हमारी लाइफ बनी, इससे हम बन गए। उसके बाद ये थ्योरी भी फेल होगी, इसके बाद कोई और थ्योरी आई।
Okay, Shivanshu, and we have a last question we'll be taking is of Priyanka Verma. She wants to know that how did the ancestors of human change over time?
एंसेस्टर चेंज ओवर टाइम, एंसेस्टर कैसे चेंज करते हैं अपने टाइम को? प्लीज रिपीट क्वेश्चन, प्लीज रिपीट क्वेश्चन।
She wants to know that how did the ancestors of human change over time?
Will you explain in Hindi? Sorry for that, I'm not understanding English.
She wants to know that कि जो ह्यूमन थे, जो ह्यूमन के एंसेस्टर्स थे, वो टाइम के साथ कैसे चेंज हुए?
टाइम्स के साथ कैसे चेंज हुए, उसके साथ क्या था, देयर आर सो मेनी चेंजेस कम्स फ्रॉम द, जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया, पहले ड्रायोपिथेकस आए, ड्रायोपिथेकस आने के बाद उनका जो माइंड था, इन द केस ऑफ ड्रायोपिथेकस उनका माइंड थोड़ा बड़ा था इन द कंपैरिजन ऑफ रामापिथेकस। उससे क्या था, उनका माइंड डेवलप हुआ, थोड़ा माइंड डेवलप होने के बाद उन्हें कुछ आया, देन उसके बाद रामापिथेकस हुए, उसका इवोल्यूशन हुआ, कुछ ईयर्स के बाद, कुछ मिलियन ईयर्स के बाद फिर रामापिथेकस आए, उनका माइंड थोड़ा छोटा हो गया, उन्हें थोड़ा समझ में आने लगा कि हमारे लिए ये बेटर है, ये हमारे लिए सही है, ये हमारे लिए गलत है। देन उसके बाद मैंने बताया, उसके बाद फिर आए हमारे होमोनीज आए, होमोनीज के जितने भी हैं हमारे होमोसेपियंस हैं, देन जो हमारी करंट की चली वो होमोसेपियंस सेपियंस है, वो सभी आए। इससे क्या हुआ कि हमारा जो चेंज हो रहा था इवोल्यूशन का मैन का, वो इस तरह हुआ जैसे कि मैंने पहले बताया था कि सबसे पहला जो हमारा मिला है ओरिजिन, वो मिला है सेंट्रल एशिया से। सेंट्रल एशिया मतलब कि ड्रायोपिथेकस के जो मिले हैं वो सेंट्रल एशिया से मिले, जबकि सेकंड मिले हैं वो मिले हैं चाइना से, और उसके बाद मिले हैं एक जावा से, जो कि मैंने बताया नहीं पहले, उसमें था कि जावा से जो मिले हैं उन्हें हम जावा मैन भी बोलते हैं। तो इस तरह इनका इवोल्यूशन, टाइम टू टाइम इवोल्यूशन हुआ।
शिवांशु,
थैंक यू सर।
यस यस, प्लीज गो अहेड प्लीज।
मैंने कहा कि जैसे कि हमने बताया था कि ड्रायोपिथेकस और रामापिथेकस, in the case of Dryopithecus he related to the Central Asia, but in the case of Ramapithecus he related to Java, as I say that. क्योंकि क्या था कि जावा में जो थे वो मिले थे हमें जावा से, इनके जो एंसेस्टर मिले हैं, यही था कि उनका माइंड चेंज होता रहा, थोड़ा डेवलपमेंट हुआ, देन वो आगे इधर थोड़ा माइंड छोटा हुआ, उन्हें पता लगा कि हमारे लिए ये बेटर है, ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, इस तरह हमारा एवोल्यूशन चलता रहा। थैंक यू।
शिवांशु, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
यस सर।
First of all, it's a very interesting observation and idea. And sorry, I defy some of your rules,
Yes, sir.
organizers. But it's interesting. किसी ने मुझसे पूछा था पहले भी कि पहले के एप्स जो हैं, पहले के जो लोग हैं या पहले के जो जंगल में एप्स रहते थे, वो तो ह्यूमन बन गए हैं, लेकिन
Yes, sir.
अब के एप्स ह्यूमन कब बनेंगे? So I know this is very difficult.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can
sir.
you give me any idea about this? कुछ आप दे सकते हैं? पहले के जो मान लीजिए ऐप है वो ह्यूमन बीइंग हो गया, लेकिन
Yes,
आज
sir.
के कब बनेंगे
Yes, sir.
ह्यूमन बीइंग्स? तो इसके बारे में एनी आइडिया? बिकॉज
Yes,
अ
sir.
यंग लर्नर, सो आई
Yes,
डोंट वांट एग्जैक्ट, बट डू यू हैव एनी आइडिया अबाउट दिस?
दिस इज अ ग्रेट क्वेश्चन सर। मेरे से भी एक ने पूछा था कि जैसे कि पहले जो मंकी थे वो मंकी से आदमी तो बन गए, लेकिन आदमी से मंकी क्यों नहीं बन गए? तो इसके लिए सर एक सबसे पहली चीज है, वो चीज है हमारा क्लाइमेटिक चेंज। फर्स्ट थिंग इज क्लाइमेटिक चेंज। इसके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट करता है कि हमारा क्लाइमेट और एनवायरमेंट कहाँ पे। जैसे जैसे हमारा एनवायरमेंट चेंज होगा, जैसे कि मैंने एग्जांपल दिया इंडस्ट्रियल मैनलिज्म का, उस कंडीशन से हम इसे सीधा सीधा रिलेट कर सकते हैं सर। क्लाइमेटिक चेंज इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर दैट।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू,
थैंक यू सर।
गो अहेड.
Thank you so much, Shivanshu. Now I request the speaker of next week, Vishesh Kasmi, to please come and introduce us.
धन्यवाद मिस मानवी, मुझे मंच पर आमंत्रित करने के लिए, और सभी को मेरा हार्दिक नमस्कार। मेरा नाम विशेष कासमी है और मैं बीए प्रोग्राम सेकंड ईयर का छात्र हूं। जैसा कि अभी मिस मानवी ने बताया कि मैं आने वाले रविवार को मंच पर इतिहास के एक विषय पर चर्चा करने वाला हूं, जिस विषय का नाम है बदलती संस्कृति एवं बदलती 18वीं शताब्दी। मेरे पाठ का उद्देश्य है कि किस प्रकार संस्कृति अपने समकालीन इतिहास को प्रदर्शित करती है और किस प्रकार इतिहास संस्कृति को प्रभावित करता है। इस पाठ में हम जानेंगे कि संस्कृति के माध्यम से 18वीं शताब्दी के मुख्य राजनीतिक विकास क्या क्या हुए, और संस्कृति के माध्यम से जानेंगे कि ब्रिटिश शासन की मुख्य विचारधाराएं क्या क्या थी। अंत में मैं कमेटी सदस्यों को आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जिन्होंने मुझे सम्मानित मंच पर मेरी प्रस्तुति के लिए अनुमति दी। अब मैं पुनः मिस मानवी को आमंत्रित करता हूं कि वह मंच पर आएं और कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Mr. Vishesh. Now let's go ahead with the vote of thanks. So I invite Preeti, who is the Joint Secretary of Saksha, to please give the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all of you. I am Preeti, as a student of BA program History Hindi discipline. As you all know, I have been appointed as a Joint Secretary of Saksha Society, the Department of History, under the convenorship of Dr. D.N. Singh sir and guidance of Dr. Pramod Kumar sir, Dr. Manish Kamwar sir, Dr. Seema Meena ma'am, and Mr. Ajay Kumar sir, has achieved new heights during the session 2016 to 2017. This year, for the first time, the department formed its society, Saksha. President of Saksha from 2016 to 2020, first Ms. Swati Dhar, second Mr. Ashish Kumar, third Ms. Sakshi, fourth one is Ms. Pinky Kasana, and now Mr. Ankit is President of Saksha Society. Now the office bearers of Saksha are Ms. Mandira Paul, Vice President of Saksha, Mr. Shubham Tiwari, Secretary, Ms. Preeti, Joint Secretary, Ms. Chandni Sikarwa, Treasurer. There are the executive members of Saksha, Ms. Charu, Ms. Sakshi, Mr. Ajay Gupta, Mr. Vishesh Kasmi, Ms. Priya Tiwari, Ms. Divya Tyagi. The Saksha also organized quizzes, debates, lecture series, webinars, career counseling, and educational trips, etc. Last month, Saksha organized online Freshers Welcome, in which different games were organized and the winners of all events were awarded. Mr. and Mrs. Fresher were awarded. It was a grand success. And Saksha also organized OBE seminar and 4 GSTS program. Now, GSTS committee members are Mr. Mudit Bharadwaj, Mr. Saurabh Singh, Ms. Sumul, and Ms. Manvi Saraswat. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable program. First and foremost, I thank our special guest, Dr. Ila Bhushan ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your very valuable thoughts and your precious time. And now, my hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Amit Kumar sir, Department of Hindi, who gave his vital time from his busy schedule to grace this program. I want to thank all the respected teachers who join us today. I would like to express our deep gratitude to Convener Dr. D.N. Singh sir for his presence in this program. I would also thank all faculty teachers that had made this program a grand success through their support and motivation. I would thank the members of Sakshi who ran around all the things. Thank you so much to all of you. I wanted to thank the GSTS team who worked in making this program a success. They are a motivated and dedicated team. Will continue to present this program with enthusiasm. Further, a big thanks to Mr. Shivanshu Saini for adorning her necessary work and sharing with us her graceful opinion and making an excellent answers of all the questions of the students. I would like to place my hearty vote of thanks to all the students for joining us today in great number, not only from our department, rather also from other departments. I thank you for being with us. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation and lovely gathering. Have a great day ahead. See you all next Sunday. Thank you so much.
Ila ma'am, kindly give me final remarks, 60 seconds. And after that, Manvi end this program.
Actually, you know, Manish ji, I am mesmerized by the performance of your students, seriously. You know, I have been hooked to my screen और मुझे ये लग रहा है कि हमारे बच्चे इतना कम में को सीख गए. तो ये बहुत अच्छा प्रयास है और मैंने इसके लिए आपको जितना मैं आपको और आपकी टीम को साक्षी टीम को जितना धन्यवाद दूं उतना कम है और थोड़ा सा काफी इंटरेक्टिव है. मुझे लग रहा है बहुत अच्छे फ्लो में इवॉल्व हो रहा है तो इसको इसके फ्लो के साथ ही हम चलने देते हैं.
थैंक यू मैम. और हमारा प्रयास रहता है कि 5:45 में हम इसको एंड कर दे प्रोग्राम को. सो माय स्टूडेंट्स आर रियली इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक, दे डन अ वेरी फैंटास्टिक. थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल ऑफ यू.
Ila madam, thank you.
Okay, Manvi, any other thing, Manvi?
No sir.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you sir. Thank you ma'am.
Thank you Shivanshu. All the best. Thank you office
Thank you, sir.
bearers. Shubham or Saurabh. Shubham.
Yes sir.
How? Fine.
Yes sir.
Okay, all the best. Thank you Manvi. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye bye Tere.
Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
Yes sir. Thank you everyone.
Mark रह गया मेरा.
Yes ma'am. Please.
Thank you for inviting me to this program.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. ओए मोहम्मद अली.
वैभव
हाँ सुनो बोल.
इको की क्लास होगी आज?
अरे कुछ ना हो यार, इको की क्लास घंटा
क्लास सारी क्लास बंद हो गई ना?
बंद हो गई.
चलो सही है. और इकोनॉमिक्स के जो नोट्स दिए थे वो कंप्लीट कर लिए?
लग गए हैं
भाई. अभी
लग रहा है.
हेलो.
हाँ भाई बोलो.
भाई दूसरे ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर लो, इसमें रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है. ठीक है.
रिकॉर्डिंग बंद करने वाला बंदा भी रुका है क्या?
नहीं, वो अपने आप कैंसिल हो जाएगी. आप दूसरे ज्वाइन कर लो.
ओके भाई चलो.
लिंक सेंड कर दो. तुम इसको सेंड कर दो भाई को, ठीक है? लेफ्ट ग्रुप